Now, on the huge controversy that took place on board Air India international flight where passengers, one toilet was not working and the plane had to be diverted. Now, images accessed by NDTV, which has been released by Air India, show a large cloth being removed from the tube attached to the lavatory system on board AI-126, the Boeing 777 300ER jetliner, which had to return to Chicago on March 5th after the majority of its lavatories on board were choked. More than 300 passengers on board the aircraft when it had to return. In a statement released by the airline, it has been said, "We would like to confirm, as a part of our investigation into the incident, our teams found polythene bags, rags, cloths that had been flushed down and stuck in the plumbing. This led to lavatories to become unserviceable as far as this aircraft was concerned." The airline also says that this is not an uncommon situation. Let me go across to my colleague Vishnu Shom, who is joining us at this moment. Vishnu, I mean, if at all there are clear do's and don'ts in these toilets of aircrafts, and still Air India says that these things keep happening, passengers don't listen.
No, and I think, in as much as, everybody pans Air India for what they say are poor service conditions, and in fact, that should be the case for any airline, whether Air India, Indigo, or any airline, they are forward-facing, and if there are consumer complaints, then it's a real issue. But I think it is important to also be able to step back and try and understand what the airlines are sometimes saying. In this particular case, there is no plumbing system on earth that I can tell you, since I cover aviation closely, on any airliner, which can take blankets being stuffed down and flushed down, clothing being flushed down, undergarments, plastic, diapers, etc., etc. Not just on this flight, but on several flights. The images that you see on your screen are not just of AI-126, but in fact from several flights over the last 10 days. Now, if this happens, and on a 300 passenger plus flight, if you've got only one toilet operational on a flight which is about 14-15 hours long, then what does the airline do except return to where it came from or land somewhere else? That's a huge amount of money lost. It is time lost and an inconvenience to passengers. The reputation of the airline goes down as well. Now, how do you ensure that passengers don't do this sort of thing? And just to be sure, it's not about an Indian airline and Indian passengers. This sort of thing might be happening across the world. There have been several other incidents as well. But the conduct of passengers on board is something that needs to be looked at very, very carefully, because a flight turning around after 5 hours in the air puts the entire system on the, it gets overloaded. Consecutive flights get delayed, not to mention the consequences of having to clear out this muck.